So we'll be together for 1 hour, roughly, and I will try to do a presentation of half an hour, and then maybe we can have a Q&A session, so you can ask all your hard questions to me. Please be nice. Okay. So, first of all, we will go over a little presentation of Sciences Po and the program offers. You can see that, first of all, we have the undergraduate college. Obviously, you are not here for that, so we go fast. Then we have the masters. We have 7 schools at Sciences Po. And we have the Law School, the Paris School of International Affairs, the Management and Innovation School, Urban School, Public Affairs, and doctoral schools. For all these schools, you have several master programs that are offered, and most of them are in English. You have some offering also in French. And then you have the doctoral school for PhD. So we can go back to that if you want later, but the best is to go and meet all these schools in the other building, 27 Rue Saint-Guillaume, and they will they will be more expert to the exact offering of these masters. So, as I said, we have 7 schools. We have also 29 programs in master level, and then we have apprenticeship also. That's something that sometimes is not known. So how it is, it's not for all the programs, so you will have to know which programs you want to apply to. And what you do is 2 semesters at Sciences Po, and then instead of doing 1 semester at Sciences Po for the second year and 1 semester in a training, you do 2 semesters at Sciences Po for the first year, and then the second year will be alternative between school and apprenticeship. But you can ask that to the schools directly. They will be better to answer all your questions. Then we have a lot of dual degrees, either with French schools or with international schools. I can quote some of them. We have LSE, Georgetown, Penn State, Frye, Hertie, Fudan, and so on. So it's a pretty good offer. And we also prepare for the preps. It's a prep schools kind of for specific exams for public services, for example. But now we'll go more on with admission procedures, which is why we are here today. Okay, so as I told you, I will not cover the French procedure, but I will cover the international graduate procedure and the 1-year master's procedure. The difference between the two is the offer we put behind. So if you want to apply for a dual degree or for a 2-year master's degree, a regular degree, you need to go through the international graduate admission procedure. And if you want a 1-year master program, obviously you go through the 1-year master's program procedure. You cannot mix the 2 of them. You need to choose one of them. So since you are here more for the international graduate admission procedure, that's why I will go over first. So who is concerned by this procedure? I know we have a lot of questions for the French students who go abroad and who have dual degree, bachelors. Who is concerned are the people who have French or not, it doesn't matter, who have obtained a non-French degree wherever, it doesn't matter. And if you have done a dual degree, 1 French and 1 not French, you might be able to go through this procedure, but you need to have spent 2 years abroad, and not just abroad, but abroad in the country that will deliver the non-French degree. Okay, is that clear? We can talk about it later. So, or you can also have 180 ECTS, or if your school doesn't deliver a bachelor degree, you can have a master's degree as well, because some schools, they just deliver a master's degree and not bachelor's. So, but still, the main thing you need to remember is that it's from a non-French university. So, what you can do through this procedure, you can choose a regular 2-year master or a dual degree master or both, okay? But you can't choose 2 masters, 2 years masters or 2 dual degrees. It's not possible. And just be aware that the dual degree master will always be put in first choice. It doesn't mean that we compel you to choose the dual degree if you are selected. It just technically, it's always in the first choice. When? It's an important question, because if you choose one program, a 2-year master program, you have until March 1st to apply. If you choose a dual degree program, then all the dates are on our website, and they are very different, so I won't quote them here, but you can go on our website and see when you need to apply. The difficult case is when you have 1 master degree and 1 dual degree, because you will have to apply before the first deadline. So if the first deadline coming is one of the dual degree, then you will have to apply then. If the first deadline is the one from the 2-year master program, then you have to apply then. But you have to apply at the first of the 2 deadlines. And another case, which is a little bit difficult, is when you also apply for scholarships. Only one scholarship is available now. It's a Boot Me scholarship, from Sciences Po. And the deadline is December 15th. So whatever the program you will choose, either a 2-year master program or a dual degree, you will have to apply before the 15th of December if you want to apply through this scholarship. Yes?
How many students receive the About Me
I
scholarship?
can't tell you.
2? Or
No. It's neither 2 or neither 200. It's somewhere in between. No, it depends of the budget, depends of the size of the students. It depends on a lot of things. You can try to ask a question to our neighbors next door there, but I'm not sure they will answer either. But we have more than 2, I can assure you that. Yeah. Now that I've said that, when you feel you are ready to apply, you want to apply and you are ready, your file is complete, it will go through a procedure. We will do a lot of things with your file, and the first step is looking, is it complete? And then what we'll see is that if you apply then and it's not complete, it will be rejected. So you need to make sure of 2 things. You need to make sure you apply before the deadlines, in whatever situation we just talked about, and you need to make sure when you apply it's complete. Is that clear? I hope so. Yes, and for the master's program, we are on rolling admissions, which means that we have different sessions of selection committees. And on the website, you will see that if you apply before the 15th of December, for example, you will get an answer before mid-February. And so on. So you can check that on the website, but that's for the master's program, not for the dual degree programs. For the dual degree programs, you will get an answer roughly between 2 and 3 months after the deadline of the program. So it's 2 separate procedures, although you apply together. How to apply? So the most important thing is to look at the website. It's very important because there you will find the admission calendar. First of all, we just talk about some dates, but not all of them. And then you need to also look at the application guide. You will find it on the right side of the website. It's called application guide, so you can't miss it. It will really give precious information because even before you create your account, it will show you screenshots of the application, and then it will enable you to understand what we expect from you and what you have to put, what documents you have to put where, and what you have to fill where. So very important. And the last important documents we have are the prerequisites and supporting material language. It's a big table regrouping all the master's program and dual degree programs, and it gives you what we need for which program. So it gives you all the prerequisites, all the language tests we need, what level, etc., etc. Very important. Of course, when you have two different programs, you might ask, what should I put there? Because it's two different things that we are asked to put in our application file. You have to put the most demanding. So if one program requires a language test at IELTS 7, and the other program requires IELTS 8, it doesn't exist, but I just invent. 8 exists, but I mean, we don't require that. You need to get the 8th one, okay? Because that's the most demanding, okay? And also, for the language, we will go back to that, sorry. So, start your application. First of all is create your account after you have read the application guide. Then you choose your program or your programs, depending. I would recommend that you start by the references. Why? Because that's the only thing you don't really master until the end. You are not responsible totally for getting the answers. Your referees, they have a lot of things to do usually. They are not that, you can't tell them do that, or you can try, but it's not always easy. But you need to talk about that, I think. And you need to choose someone who knows you well, who has evaluated you, who can compare you to a cohort of different students. And obviously, it should be better if you can make sure it will give you a positive reference. If you think that you did not that good in this class, then it might not be a good idea to ask for a reference. Seems like obvious, but believe me, it's not always when we read the files. The references are completely confidential, which means you will not read them. Okay, they will be sent directly to us. And of course, you need to tell your referee that you need him or her to fill this reference before a certain date. That will be your choice of date, because it depends on all the situation we just went over. And in which language? When I say in which language, for dual degree programs, because we have a selection committees that are joint with our partners, they need to be in English so they can read them. So if you have a program in French and a dual degree program, your reference must be written in English. Okay? And yes, tell them the deadline. Then take your language test, because that's the second thing that takes a lot of time. Usually we think that it takes between 2 and 3 months to get the results. And sometimes in some countries, it's hard to have sessions. So it's very important too. And what you master should be the supporting materials. So what is the supporting materials? It's CV, ID, transcripts, all the transcripts of your undergraduate life. So if you went abroad, also we need transcripts. If you don't have them because you are right now in exchange, then it's fine, but we need a certificate or something that says that you are enrolled. And if you change the path at some point at university, we need all the grades, everything. And for undergraduate, we don't want high school, okay? And then we need a motivation letter. So that's a very, very, very important part of the file. We give a lot of tips on what we expect on our website, but I can give you some examples. We need to know what you have done, where you want to go, and how the masters you have chosen will help you do that. So very important. What else? We need the references, and we need a cumulative grade average. So we have a lot of questions on that. Yes, I can tell that it's not that clear. So basically, in your different universities, if you have more than one, you got grades, hopefully, and then you got maybe average, or maybe it's not calculated on your transcript. If it's calculated on your transcript directly, you just need to declare the average that is written on your transcript, and that's done. If it's not written on your transcript, some universities, they don't calculate any average. You need to ask your university for a certificate saying my average is so. If your university doesn't do that, you have a third possibility is calculate it yourself and then declare it on your file. How you calculate it? You take all the grades and you divide by the number of grades. Okay. If you have averages per year, you take the average per year or per semester, whatever, and you divide by the number of semester. You don't have to take all the grades in this case. Okay. Then what else? Something important I would like to tell you is that we give you tips, or we ask you to put all these supporting materials in PDF format. Very important. And we ask you to name the documents a certain way. It's written on our website and in the application guide. I say that because sometimes we have 100 pieces of documents all over, written 1, 2, 3, X, Y. It doesn't facilitate the evaluation. And also, finally, the way you prepare your file will reflect also your motivation. So that's very important. You do something clean, nice, and legible. Okay, and then I think we are there. You need to pay the application fee. Yes, sorry.
I wanted to know, the CV, what length is it? 1 page or 2 pages?
It doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. In France, we are used to 1-page CVs, but here we are at Sciences Po. We are used to international students, and we know there are different references. So what we want to see in the CV are just good information. You know, we want to know what you have done, your education, if you have a job experiences. Just that it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2 pages. Just don't bring us CVs with 10 pages. We don't have the time to read that. But 1 or 2 is fine.
Do you require transcripts for internships and for work that we do?
Transcripts? You mean if it's an internship? If it's an internship mandatory in your school, for example? No, we don't require transcript for internships. But you could use this internship to get a professional reference, for example. But no transcript for internships. So fees are 100 euros. Either you take you put 1 choice or 2 choices, and it's not refundable. So if you are not admitted at the end, it's not refundable. And please make sure you submit your application, because paying doesn't mean you submit your application. You really have to pay and then push the button submit. Otherwise, your file will stay somewhere and never be seen, and it's too bad because you would have done everything right and paid, but not submitted. Very important. Okay, so how it works. Right now, the evaluation of your application process that I'm showing you right now is not for the dual degree. It's only for the 2-year master's degree. So first, you have an admissibility phase. So what we look there is the academic background and performances. What I mean by academic background pretty much are your grades. And on our website, you will see that we provide prerequisites for most of the countries. If you don't find your country on our website, then you can write us an email and we will give you the prerequisites in your country. So, for example, I can give you examples. For UK, we require at least a 65%. For the US, a 3.5 over 4. For Spain, I don't know, 7.5 over 10, etc., etc. So that's the first step, admissibility phase. If you are a little bit under, but you feel that you have extensive professional experiences or something exceptional otherwise, you may also apply, but it's at your own risk, I would want to say, because we look also at that. But really, at this stage, we really look at the academic performance. And then the admission phase. So it goes over evaluation. We don't have interviews for this procedure, something I would like to say. We only look at your file. So that's also why you need to make sure you give something nice and prepared. So we look again at your academic performance. We look at your professional experience, any engagements you will have, and very important, and see how the letter of motivation will help you, the adequacy between the profile and the training offered at Sciences Po. That's something that is really looked at. Of course, we will look at your references and so on, but that's what we look. And sometimes we have excellent students that are rejected, and they ask us why. It's because we don't only look at academic reference, also it's academic performance. Also it's central, it's not the only thing we look at. And so we want well-rounded students. And also, sometimes you are excellent in your school, but then you are compared to the whole world, and maybe you can be excellent, but not as excellent as others. And we also assess your application in relation to a huge pool. I will just stop there to tell you how the dual degree process works. We don't have admissibility phase, we just have admission phase. It's all joint. So with our partner, we are tight, and we look at the files all together, and then we decide on each file. But we don't have admissibility phase. But we still have the prerequisites, so it works the same for the prerequisites. And then we have joint selection committees, and then the admission decisions. The results. For the 2-year master's program, it depends when you submit your complete file, because I told you it's on rolling admissions, and so depending on when you submit your file, you can expect to have an answer before a date. You can look at that on the website. For dual degree programs, it's between 2 and 3 months after the deadline. And for the Boot-Me scholarship, you need to be admitted to go into the commission of the Boot-Me scholarship. That's why you need to apply before December 15th, and it will be by the end of March, beginning of April. Sometimes we have waiting lists for the scholarship, never for the programs, just so you know. But for the scholarship, we have waiting lists, so you can have a first answer saying that you're on a waiting list, and then yes or no. Any question at this point on international procedures? Wow, that was so clear. Perfect. I will go over the 1-year master's program procedure. We have 5 programs with different schools. So advanced global studies with 7 specialties. The specialties are the same as for the dual degree, for the 2-year masters. Then we have the School of Public Affairs with 2 different masters. The first one is in English, Master in Art and Politics in French. That's the only French 1-year master's program. And then you have a School of Management and Innovation with Corporate Strategy, and the Law School with the LLM. So it's a little bit different for eligibility. There you need to have an undergraduate degree. The LLM requires a law degree. I wanted to say also for the dual degree master's program, some law school, with Georgetown, for example, they require also a law degree. And you need to have experience, as is for a young professional. The years of experience depend on the masters you choose. I'll let you read there. And again, you can only select one-year master's program, and it's exclusive from all the other procedures. The deadlines is before April 15th, and again, we are on a rolling admission basis, so depending when you submit a complete file, you will get an answer. I will go very fast on the how, because pretty much it's the same as for the international procedure, except that references, of course, we require professional references. Okay. And the evaluation of the application, always the academic background number one, then professional experience, obviously, because it's for a professional master's, motivation, and that's it. Here we go. So if you want to contact us, we have a call center opened on Monday 2 hours and 4 hours from Tuesday to Thursday and 2 hours again on Friday. And you can visit our website. The best advice I will ever give you here is please take a huge care when you gather your application. Read everything on the website because we give tips about what we expect for the motivation letter, what you should expect from your referees, how to name the documents, what format, etc., etc. And that will be the best advice I will give you today. And make sure you know why you want to go at Sciences Po also. Very important. Any questions? No? Yes? No. Yes. Okay, so should you get English test language if you are in an English-speaking program? That's your questions, pretty much? Yes? No? No, I'm studying in English. Yeah? Is that enough? Yeah, it's enough only if we can look at get a certificate from your university stating that you only studied in English and that you will get a diploma at the end. Okay? Yeah. We have exemptions for English, French, and Spanish, and also German tests. Yes?
I also have a question. I have the same case. I'm also studying in the Netherlands in English entirely, but now I'm doing my semester abroad in France, and I have courses in French, German, and English.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, because, yes, it should be fine, of course. If you go abroad, you will, yeah. But make sure you get a certificate from your university in the Netherlands. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes?
I don't know if you know the IFE scholarship.
Yes.
How it works?
It's too late already. You needed to apply before November 3rd. That's why it's not written there. And so that's too late. If you didn't apply yet, it's too late to apply this year. Yes?
If you did an exchange at Sciences Po,
Yes.
does the grades matter that you had?
If you didn't exchange at Sciences Po,
Yeah. Are the grades important for your master's degree? Do you look at the exchange you did at Sciences Po or not?
yes? But we look at exchange wherever it took place. So, and even if it's at Sciences Po, that's a good point. Please put your transcripts because it's not because you studied at Sciences Po that we get all the information coming to us miraculously. We need to have all your transcripts also. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
And another question.
Yes.
If you're doing an internship after the deadline, do you mention it if you have the confirmation?
Yeah, you can. Any elements that you think will make you look good, you put it. But please, just don't put like 100 documents in the application file. But yes, you can either put a certificate stating that you will do this internship letter, or you can put that in your motivation letter, for example. Whatever. Yes.
Okay, so
Yes,
And one of my references is in French. Is that okay?
it's okay.
Okay, just checking.
Yes.
And then also, I'm a transfer student, but all of my classes are listed on my one graduate transcript. That's okay also, or do I need...
It would be good if you could give us the transcripts of your first school. But because when it comes back on the new transcript, we just see that it's transferred credits, but we don't see the grades.
The grades are listed.
Ah, they are also? Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're applying for the Boomi Scholarship as well,
Yes.
is there any separate procedure there, or is that just fill out the regular application, there's no other component?
No, it's exactly the same application. The only thing is that if you are admitted, you will know before February 14th, and then you will go to the commission. We will take the admitted files who applied at the Boomi Scholarship, and we get to a separate commission, specifically for this scholarship. But other than that, you go through the normal procedure. It just, you add one step.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
When is the deadline for the French students for the text language in international offer?
Okay, so the deadline for the test language, other than for the scholarship and for the dual degree, because tests are compulsory for the dual degree scholarship programs, but other than that, for the 2-year master's degree, either for the international procedures, for the 1-year procedure, or for the French procedure, it will be until the 31st of May 2020. We need to have the test. Okay? Other than that, you will, because we are on rolling admission at the international procedure, you will get a conditional offer without this test. Except, again, I say again, for dual degree where it's compulsory to have it before the deadline, and the scholarship also. But since you will get for the French procedure your results at the end of May, you don't have that much time to bring your English certificate. Any other question? Yes?
Does everyone have to do a language test regardless of where you did the degree?
No. That's what we discussed with the lady. Yeah, exemptions exist if you spent 3 years doing a bachelor in English. Then, if you get a certificate from your school stating that all your classes were in English, fine, you are exempted. But nationality is not an exemption, though, because we have seen in the past people who were French and had never spoken one word of French. So, nationality is not an exemption, but all the rest can be, yeah. No. At the proof of language, to be exempted from French test? Yes. Yes, of course. Yes, I'll come back to you. Yes?
It's just the other way around of her question.
Yeah.
Or high school in English and international school should be.
Yes, but be careful. All your classes must have been in English, though. Yeah, it's fine. That's an exemption case. So you just have to put the proof of your high school. Yeah. Sir, you wanted to ask a question? No? No? Okay. Yes?
Another specific question for the joint master in journalism
Yeah.
and international affairs.
Yes.
Not only English but also French that is required, a level of B1, I think.
Yeah, recommended, yeah.
Because of the recommended, do I then need to have the DELF certificate or is the certificate from my university?
Yeah. That's a difficult question. I take advantage of your question just to say that for the joint journalism, the calendar is a little bit different. You have until the 2nd of February to apply, and then your results are it's not on a rolling admission basis. So it will be, again, around mid-March, I think, or something like that you will get the admission decision. But regarding your question, I would say that if you already have a test language of French, then put it, even if it's a little bit old, or if any element that will prove that you have a B1, it's fine, but it's only recommended, it's not requested. But since you will have an interview, because it's very specific for École de Journalisme and the joint, you will have, if you might have an interview, and then if you have an interview, you will be also responding in French. So we will have a good idea of your French level.
Because in the presentation they mentioned a dossier, so is that a different application?
But it's because first you apply and you get you do the dossier, you do your application online, and then it's a very specific program, so it's a very specific procedure. Once you have applied, then you might or not go through the interview, and if you go to the interview, then you will be asked questions about motivation, normal interview, why you want to do this program, and if you say something like I like dance, maybe they might ask a question about dance, whatever. But yeah, it's only a B1 recommended, it's not required. Yeah. Any more questions? Should we stop there? Yes?
Just one practical about the average. I just looked up the country I'm from. It's not on the list.
You are where?
From Denmark.
Denmark, yeah.
It's not on the list. We are finishing our bachelor degree this year, like in 2020. We can only provide an average for up till fifth
Yeah.
semester.
Yeah.
That's sufficient.
Of course, you don't need to be graduated already. Most of you will be graduated in 2020, and so you get every grades you have on your transcript. You count that, but of course you can't count. It's fine. Yeah. For ECTS, it's a little bit harder because you need to have 180 credits. So anyhow, you have your admission, even if it's not conditional to the English test or French test or whatever test, it will be conditional to the obtention of your bachelor degree or the 180 credits. So when you will come and register, they will check your diploma, or they will check that you have a certification. You have a certificate with 180 credits.
Like at the enrolling moment.
At the enrolling moment, yeah.
So I can submit an application
Yes.
without a degree, without a number.
Yeah, but at the end of in September 2020 or August 2020, you need to have one or the other. Yeah. And by the way, they are right there if you want to ask more precise question on out and right. If you want to ask more questions about scholarships, tuition fees, housing, they can answer all your questions right there. And if you have more precise questions, you can also go and see us over there. Any other questions? No? Well, thank you very much, and I hope to see you at Sciences Po soon. Good luck. Merci.